The best way to learn how to foil is winging. That's for sure. You can maybe learn the really first day behind the boat, especially the boat when you have the bar to hold on. In 5 minutes you're becoming a foiler with that system. And winging is like 2-3 days and you fly. So it's really fantastic for the people to be able to get that foiling feeling above the water in a few days only. It's a fast learning sport.
If it's wing foiling, get a big board. You're going to need a 135 litre board if you're getting into it. At least that'll be the minimum. And go out when there's lots of wind. So winging in wind, as we know, is definitely easier than super light wind. But yeah, get a board with enough volume. Don't go too small first up. It's just reality. Don't overestimate where you're at.
And would you say that winging is a good way to get into foiling?
In a location with wind, winging is a great way to get into it. But yeah, if you've got no wind, then flat water, dock starting, people are getting into it that way. I mean, there's lots of ways you can do it. Get a small board and a pump foil and just start jumping off docks. Or get out behind a boat. Wake foiling, e-foiling, they're probably the two easiest ways to learn how to handle a foil. So even if you're winging, try and get some sessions behind a boat on your big board. Get on the foil, figure the foil out. Behind any kind of boat, actually, with the foil. And just figure out how to ride the foil. It's always good.
Well, there are many people that learn to foil behind a boat, but I don't like petrol. So I like for you to try foiling, with the wind first. Of course, you can learn to actually windsurf foil. That's maybe the easiest. So we brought a board here called the Go Fly. And it's an extraordinary easy board to learn to foil with. It's a windsurfing board. You can almost learn, it's quite long, and of course because it has a foil, it's also stable, and you can actually learn to windsurf on that board with the foil, and then you learn to foil on the same board. That's maybe the easiest way to learn to foil is with that windsurfing board. Again, that's unheard of. It's down here, we can go and look at it. It's the Go Fly. So I'm really proud of that board. There's a very, very long fuselage, which means when you come up, super stable. It also has a very, very long rocker line, very flat rocker line. So you glide up to speed really quick. And when you're up, it's a very skinny board, so full control. Lots of V in the front, so when you touch down, you just touch down slightly and come up again. The mast is only 75, so you never come very high, it's just easy to control. So funny enough, probably windsurfing is the easiest way to get into foiling, and I like that.
I believe that foiling, it's when you haven't done it at all, it's reasonably tricky, and I think you want to make it as easy as possible, and I think you want to enjoy the journey as you go through. It's not a race to an imaginary finish line. You want easy gear. You'll grow out of it for sure, but you want to progress easily and quickly. And with that in mind, we have the SES and also the BSC, like the BSC 1060 and the SES 1040, both excellent packages for people to get started on. If you're on a lake that never gets any wind and you've got access to a boat, then that's going to work great for you. If you're somewhere that it's easy to get on the water with a wing, the wing is actually a pretty easy way to learn as well. And you can learn a lot of skills with that. Time on the foil's winner.
I think the easiest discipline is winging, and you would just get, I always say go buy a big giant used boards because there's a ton of them around. You're going to spend whatever $200-300 something used, it doesn't matter. Go out, get a used wing, or if you feel like you're really going to be serious about it, look at some wings that interest you. Get a wing, whether it's used or new, because you're going to follow through. Get just a cheap board and go out and just learn the basics in the first 2-3 weeks or however long you're going to take to get the basics, and then commit to a size that's good all around. That's going to be good for a little bit of light wind, a little bit for when it's windier, and then if you're really committing even deeper, you can just get something smaller for those windy days.
In our line, we have the line of foils we have. It's called a Flight Attendant. We worked on it with Kane, the Wild, the legend, now the legend, 22-year-old. And for example, our 1880, I think, is a perfect beginner foil. It's not very high aspect, but it's not a low aspect in any way. It has a very unique shape that I'm seeing, the trend on the market is to go this way, where we have concave trailing edge. It's not like a banana shape, it's more like a straight shape. And the beauty with that foil is it starts really quick. It's very forgiving. Like for example, if you bridge, like the thing does not ever ventilate, so it's really awesome. But for beginners, because it's got a slow starting speed, it's really easy. But on the same time, I ride a lot, like I said, in light wind, and I ride the 1880 a lot, and I can still ride super fast. And a lot of people sometimes are surprised how fast you can ride on that foil, even though it's not one of those super high aspect foils. So that's a really great foil for that. And a lot of reason for it, like the profile we use, I believe it works exceptionally well, and that's one of the key reasons for how good that foil is.
First, for sure, winging is the easiest, way to get into foiling. Maybe a boat would be easier if you have a boat, but I think if you're wind related, foiling, you would pick a wing, because it's if you look out there and you saw somebody kite foiling, you'd go, I want to do that. It's probably a 3-year path, right? Mm-hmm. If you look at somebody wind foiling and never windsurfed before, 5-year path probably never happened, right? Go out there and you go, I want a wing foil, no experience foiling, 3-month path. If you're good, maybe you could do it in a month, right? If you're athletic and stuff, so it's really quick. So for learning a sport, the progression is so fast. It's probably the way to learn to foil. Mm-hmm. And then if you just want to foil and learn to foil, like a jet ski or a boat is a good way to, if you have a good driver and somebody that knows how to foil that can ramp you through the discipline, it goes pretty quick as well.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks so much. Appreciate your time. Have a great show.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.